Start.
This message is from the book of Esther, and the book of Esther takes place in Persia, where King Xerxes ruled over the area which stretches from India to Ethiopia, and that was the extent of his rule. Now, next to King Xerxes, he had his wife at the time, Queen Vashti, and in the beginning of the book of Esther, we see that King Xerxes gets embarrassed by Queen Vashti because he goes over and requests her presence while he's at a feast, and she refuses to come, embarrassing him in front of all of the people at the feast. So because of this disobedience, King Xerxes goes to search for another wife. So in the midst of the candidates, he finds favor in a woman named Esther, from which the book is named from. So when Esther becomes queen, there was another official that was promoted at the time, and his name was Haman. The king favored Haman greatly, and he was promoted. And at the time of the promotion, Haman had ordered every person in the area to bow down to him, and there was one singular person who refused to do so. This person was Mordecai, and Mordecai was Esther's second cousin who had practically raised Esther and was a father figure to her. So when Mordecai was asked why he didn't bow down to Haman, he said it was because he was a Jew and he didn't bow down to anybody except God. So when Haman was notified of the reason, he decided that he should persecute all the Jews because he was greatly angered by Mordecai's actions. And when Mordecai realized this, he was anguished, and he took off all of his clothes and put himself in dirty robes and put himself outside of the gates of the palace. And when Esther finds out, Mordecai requests her help in asking the king to stop Haman from persecuting the Jews. And Esther is scared because the king could punish her for asking anything of him without his permission to be in his presence. Well, Mordecai tells her that this is for her community and the Jews are being persecuted. So this is her opportunity, and since she has won favor in the king over Queen Vashti and over all the other girls that were candidates at the time that Queen Vashti was kicked out of her position, that she had favor in King Xerxes, and King Xerxes would listen to her. So at this time, Esther began to fast, and she asked Haman and the king to a great feast. And during this feast, she told the king that she would tell her motives and her objectives on the next feast that she would prepare the next day. So she continued to fast and place her faith in God, and she prayed and she fasted. And on the day of the feast, she finally told the king that Haman was the one who was persecuting the Jews, and she begged the king to stop him and to stop the persecution of her people. And at this time, the king was enraged, and he saw that Haman was set on the gallows that Haman had originally planned for Mordecai, and Haman was no longer a threat to the Jews. And Esther was praised among her people, and the king had set an order to preserve and protect the Jews. And in the end, this message and theme of the story is that Esther had an opportunity. She had the king's favor, and because of this opportunity, she needed to place faith in God that she would be safe from the king's punishment and safe from everything, and safe from the king's punishment, and that she would help save her people. And likewise, when we have an opportunity that arises, we need to take faith in God because He always has a plan for us. And when we have an opportunity, we should take it because that is what He would want us to do.